As Marcus stepped off the studio floor, the cameras still rolling on him, he scanned the audience for the first time. He had not meant to. His eyes did it on their own. In the third row back from the judge's table, on the aisle seat, sat Aria Sterling in a plain black sweater and no makeup. Her hair was down. Her hands were in her lap. There was no ring on her right hand. There was no ring on her left hand. Marcus stopped walking. The host, a former food and wine editor in a tailored navy suit, was mid-sentence, gesturing toward Marcus for an exit interview. Marcus did not hear him. Aria, 3 rows back, looked at Marcus. She did not break eye contact. She mouthed, slow, careful, like a woman who had been practicing this in a mirror at her mother's house in Connecticut. "Trust me." Marcus, on the studio floor, in front of 9 cameras and 4 million live viewers, nodded once. He walked into the green room, sat down in a folding chair in front of his locker, put his head in his hands. Brisket, in the carrier between his feet, said quietly,
"Marcus."
Yes?
She has been in the audience every day. She bought her own ticket. She did not tell you. I knew. I did not tell you. I am telling you now.
Marcus looked down. The cat looked up with the tired yellow eye of a man who had watched a woman wait for a man for a week.
She has the letter, Marcus, and she has been carrying it close to her chest since Marseille. Tonight she will give it to me. Tomorrow we cook.
That night, Marcus drove Nana's wagon back to Pennsylvania Avenue in Boyle Heights and parked it in front of the empty lot with the sunflowers. He set Brisket's carrier on the prep counter. He sat on the back step with a bottle of water and waited. Aria came at midnight in a yellow taxi. She paid the driver, walked to the truck, did not sit down beside him.
"I have been gone for 16 days.
She said, voice low.
I have lived in 2 of Damien's houses. I have eaten dinner with his mother in Pasadena. I have sat at the desk of his father in San Marino. I flew to Marseille on Tuesday on Damien's plane, alone, claiming to want to look at a family vineyard for our wedding. The Voss family restaurant in Marseille has a cellar. The cellar has a wall safe his great-grandfather installed in 1949, and 3 subsequent generations have never moved. The combination Damien's grandmother told me at a tasting last week is her own date of birth.
She set a leather folder on the truck step beside Marcus.
Reese's confession is in there. The bid corruption emails are in there. Damien's instruction to his lawyer to retain a private investigator to surveil this cat is in there.
She pulled, from inside her sweater, a smaller manila envelope, old, foxed, sealed once, and resealed. She placed it on top of the folder.
And this. Hugo Voss's deathbed confession. Marseille, September 1948.
She looked at the cat in the carrier.
Auguste, le voici, le nom de l'homme qui l'a tué.
The cat made a sound Marcus had never heard a cat make. Aria sat down on the truck step beside Marcus. She put her hand on his.
Marcus, I have eaten lobster with a man who poisoned dogs to teach his sous chef's lessons. I have not slept in 14 nights. I am very, very tired. Please feed me something, anything. Mijo, I am asking.
Marcus did not move for a second. Then he stood up. He started water for Foe. The envelope was 78 years old when Aria slid it across the prep counter. Buttery cream paper foxed at the corners, a wax seal broken once, and pressed back together so carefully it had taken a magnifying glass to see the seam.
Brisket. Auguste. I think you should read this yourself.
She set it down beside the carrier. Marcus opened the carrier door. The cat walked out slow, on legs that still trembled, and sat in front of the envelope, a single sniff. The fur along his spine rose like a held breath.
"You will read it to me. I cannot turn the pages."
Marcus drew out one folded sheet. The handwriting was in French. The dateline read Marseille, September 1948. The signature, Hugo Voss. Aria translated where Marcus's high school French failed. Brisket listened without moving. Hugo Voss had been a sous chef at the Hôtel Saint-Regis from 1920 and to 1924. On the night of the dinner for the man who had hunted Anastasia's family across 2 continents, Hugo had been paid 100 gold sovereigns to lace the dessert with arsenic. He had done it. He had retired 6 months later, opened a restaurant in Marseille, and carried both the gold and the secret into the dirt with him. He had also seen, that night, his head chef turn into a cat on the kitchen floor. At 11:47 p.m., he had taken the photograph. He had kept it. He had taught his son. The letter ended, "To whoever reads this, the cat is the only living witness. He is innocent. We are not. Forgive him. Forgive us. Burn this letter if you wish. Hugo." Marcus set the page down. The orange cat on the counter stared at the signature. For the first time in any of the days Marcus had known him, Brisket cried, not cat tears. The full, silent shake of a man with 2 hands wrapped around a knife in a Paris kitchen at midnight, finding out 100 years late who had killed the woman he loved. Aria knelt on the truck floor and pressed her forehead to the cat's. Brisket finally spoke.
Hugo, mon ami, mon enfoiré, you did the thing I would have killed you for. Tomorrow I will cook beside your great-grandson. I will not cook with hate. I will cook to be free.
The next morning at 10, Marcus walked back into the studio kitchen for round 2. The carrier with Brisket was in his left hand. Aria was in the 3rd row, aisle seat, no longer hiding. Henry was in the 2nd row, 3 seats in. Howard Sterling, Aria's father, whom Marcus had never met, was sitting 2 rows behind Henry, watching Marcus over a folded newspaper, having flown out from New York at midnight after Aria had sent him a copy of Hugo's confession. Across the studio floor at Station 2 stood chef Kim Na-young in a starched white jacket. When the producer called both chefs to center, Kim did not nod the impersonal nod of a professional opponent. She bowed, one short, formal Korean bow, and said clearly, on microphone,
Marcus, today, please cook the food your grandmother would have cooked. I will cook the food my mother taught me. Whichever is more honest, that is who advances.
Yes, chef.
Clock started. Kim broke down a yellowtail in 11 seconds, made a soy-cured egg yolk in 12, layered radish kimchi over the egg with 3 brushstrokes of bonito reduction, plated at the 43-minute mark, with 17 minutes to spare. A single circle of yellow on white, egg yolk, kimchi, perilla oil, 3 petals of myoga ginger, a small, planned sunrise. Marcus beside her was still pulling scallops. Geneviève said quietly,
Marcus, you have 10 minutes left.
He warmed the unnamed Korean-French sauce Brisket had walked him through 3 nights ago. The only dish in his current repertoire that was Auguste's, not his, and plated fast. Pan-seared scallop on cauliflower puree, the sauce spooned across. He set the plate down with 15 seconds to spare. Geneviève tasted Kim's egg, closed her eyes, made a small sound, tasted Marcus's scallop, did not close her eyes, froze. In French,
Qui vous a appris cette sauce?
My grandfather's friend.
Kim walked around the table, tasted Marcus's dish. She bowed, deeper than the first.
Marcus, you advance. Whatever happens this week, find me after. There is a kitchen in Seoul I want you to see.